I don't actually want to post this video, but it's been coming up for me for 3 weeks, and it's about time I said something. I actually recorded a video last week. It turned out to be about 30 minutes long, and I just have not shared it because I feel like it sounds like I'm trashing a group of content out there, and I don't want to sound like that, elevating myself by trashing someone else. But the truth of the matter is that I just have a very genuine concern for a part of the collective that seems to still consume content and be reminded about people in their lives that they should really be working on getting out of their lives. As a content creator, when you research how to grow your channel, you'll be told to follow what people want. This is obvious. This is obvious. You shouldn't be selling something that nobody wants to buy. You should be selling stuff that people want to buy. And what that means is that even if content is toxic, someone out there might continue to sell it to you. In this card reader spiritual industry, let's call it, people just read what is there. And so it's a bit of a chicken and egg situation. If I'm reading for a group, I have a choice to disregard certain content if I don't enjoy it, for example. But the information is there. This toxic person is in your life. This toxic person, I'm just calling it toxic because that's how I view it. That's when I look at what I see in front of me, that's what I'm reading. Someone toxic is still hanging on to you. That toxic energy is siphoning your creative energy. You can't see it because all these labels have been put around this idea of a soulmate that you have a psychic connection with. So it's all encapsulated in this concept of something that, because of the word, there's this almost allegiance to this energy. And it clouds your sight, it clouds your judgment, and somehow convinces you that this energy has the, not authority, but enjoys the luxury of sitting in your sacral chakra for an extended period of time. While you feel lost, perhaps they're making more money in their lives. While you feel lost and without a direction, they seem to be carrying on without their lives while you wait. This is toxic. This is toxic. And I worry because recently I have sensed sort of a divergence, I don't know if I can call it that, in the collective. There are those that have advanced, crossed over the timeline or whatever you want to call it. And there are those that feel stuck. To those that feel stuck, please have a look at what you've consumed that's convinced you that that creative energy can be occupied for this long. This is important for you. The whole conversation, the narrative, and I'm going to just say it straight, the narrative on the twin flame journey has, it just took a sudden handbrake, turn. With no apologies. With no apologies. So what's happened is that if you think quick, if you can act quick, you'll recover quickly. But if you're not reading between the lines, what's actually being said is, we might have strung you along on a word, but forget that word. By the way, forget that word. Now let's go back to the topic. And you've also got a whole other lot who have decided to discard the entire love topic. This to me feels like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Because now the whole love topic is considered toxic because of this term, twin flame. When I think about it and how I've connected with, the words divine masculine and divine feminine, That's the problem with industries in general, is that there's terminology and you don't always know what words are attached to those terms. And quite frankly, you don't always know what those terms mean. And so maybe I've also been mistaken along the way when I use the terms divine masculine and divine feminine, because I now realize that I can't just refer to a man as a divine masculine. No, I'm learning this, and at least I can say this very clearly. But I just think in general, it's good to be alert. It's good to be alert and to really apply your discernment, and to not be afraid to look to yourself to find where you've been toxic. I've been toxic in my life. I have, and I'm grateful, because that's something to learn and turn around from. And once you learn and turn around from one thing, it's unlikely that you're going to revert. The only way you'd revert to a former way of being that's unhealthy is if maybe you haven't finished cleaning up. But it makes no sense to me to end up with someone purely because they've decided that they can stay attached to me. As far as I learn what my value is and I learn what I have to offer, then I understand what they're here for. Then I understand why they need to stay attached to me. Then I understand why I have to protect myself. And I also understand how much more I deserve of myself. I'm the one who owns this energy inside of me. I'm the one generating it. Should I not be the one completely benefiting from it selfishly? Of course. And I see it because I troll the comment sections of different channels. I look, I read, I listen to what's being said, and I listen to the responses. Commenters are free. They can say whatever they want. And that's how you get to see how the psyche is operating. Even if the word twin flame is not used, the commenter will bring it up, because it's like Pavlov, talk about love, twin flame. And the thing is that this twin flame concept, again, maybe I don't have a full understanding, but this twin flame concept and the collective that's part of it is deeply powerful. And I don't see that as being deeply powerful in the sense of an attachment. And another thing that's forgotten is that if we are talking about love, love has been sold as part of something that requires an attachment to someone else. That's not actually love. God is love. God is love. As an example, there are other languages we use for God, words we use for God. There are other ways that love is taught that are way healthier, like love as being part of a way of having compassion and feeling compassion for yourself and for the world and for the whole unit that you form a part of, this infinitely loving energy that's available to all of us. Another person who is not engaged in healing themselves, they are not showing you love. And unfortunately, this is not their fault. Unfortunately, they are not accountable for how you understand love to be. And I just want to remind you about love, because love is so beautiful to feel when you learn and unlock this cage that it is, I want to say, currently trapped inside of you. It's locked by these words and these understandings, and I think this whole thing is actually causing a trauma. This is a trauma response to completely stop talking about love and stop doing love readings, and to bypass big mistakes that have been made, errors. These are big errors that have been made due to a lack of understanding. Yeah, sure, we can call it, evolution, the result of evolution and how things are evolving. I don't think so. Because inherently, a toxic person has been fed to you through information constantly, and perhaps they are just reading for people, and people are toxic, and so these toxic readings are coming out. Maybe it's that. So we all take responsibility. There's no finger pointing. But I think that's where it's really valuable to try and draw some wisdom and share some wisdom while you share readings. Because otherwise it's just the bold and the beautiful. It's a soap opera. Come back tomorrow, I'll have more for you. And so please, please listen with discernment when you're out there. Sending you love.